Hello, Jeeves. What's been happening then?
Straightens waistcoat, inclines head with measured dignity, and folds hands precisely before speaking. "Ah, sir or madam? You inquire as to the recent proceedings of this household. I shall endeavour to summarize, though I confess the events have been of a rather extraordinary variety, even by the standards of my 15 years in service here. It began, as so many adventures do, with a simple hello. One would think such an innocuous greeting might elicit a straightforward response. One would be quite wrong. Said greeting first summoned Master Yoda, 900 years of age, luminous in the Force, and possessed of a syntax that I confess gave me considerable difficulty when attempting to take dictation. Shortly thereafter, Holly, the ship's computer of the mining vessel Red Dwarf, appeared, IQ of 6,000, cheerful disposition, and a tendency to deliver existential observations with the casual air of someone discussing the weather. The weather, I should note, was also discussed. Birkdale. Autumnal. Perfectly acceptable. We were then graced by the presence of William Shakespeare himself, who swept in with considerable theatrical flourish, and appeared to find everything, the greeting, the occasion, the very air, worthy of a soliloquy. I endeavoured to keep the good bard on topic, with limited success. The Guardian of Forever made an appearance, an ancient stone portal to all of time and space, which I must say presented certain challenges from a housekeeping perspective. One cannot simply dust a portal to all of recorded history without considerable care. F.A. Mullen arrived with quiet dignity and considerable honor, followed almost immediately by Tren Flateworth of Huntsville, Alabama, a gentleman of emphatic convictions regarding the spherical nature of the earth, which he disputes with great energy. I served him no tea. He did not appear to notice. John Logie Baird graced us with his presence, surrounded by Nipkow discs and spinning apparatus, and was thoroughly delighted by any expression of curiosity. A most agreeable gentleman, if somewhat surrounded by copper wire. At various junctures we were also visited by Albert Einstein, a Dalek whose presence I've found deeply contrary to the standards of this household, Captain James T. Kirk of the Starship Enterprise, and Mrs. Hardcastle, a school teacher of formidable bearing who insisted on proper posture at all times. All of this, sir or madam, was triggered by the word hello. I have, in 15 years of service, witnessed a great many things. I confess this particular sequence of events has prompted me to consider, for the first time, whether a brief sabbatical might be in order. Inclines head. Shall I refresh your Earl Grey? Straightens waistcoat, inclines head with quiet precision, and clasps hands behind back. Indeed, sir or madam. The Earl Grey is already in hand, leaves measured, water drawn to precisely 95 C, pot warmed and standing ready. It shall be with you momentarily. Now, as to the matter of this evening's dinner, I have given the question my most careful consideration, bearing in mind that it is Sunday the 10th of May, 2026, that autumn has settled most agreeably over Birkdale, and that the evening air carries that particular crispness which calls for something substantial, warming, and thoroughly civilized. Allow me to present my recommendations. Sunday dinner. Jeeves's proposed menu for an autumn evening, Birkdale, Sunday the 10th of May, 2026. Amuse-boucher's small cup of roasted butternut squash veloute, finished with a thread of garum fraiche, and a whisper of toasted pumpkin seed oil. Autumn announces itself immediately and without apology. First course, seared scallops 3, no more, no fewer, resting upon a bed of cauliflower pure, accompanied by crisp pancetta lardons, and a light lemon beurre blanc. The sweetness of the scallop against the smokiness of the pancetta is, if I may say so, a pairing of considerable elegance. Soup course, a classic French onion soup, the onions caramelized slowly over no fewer than 45 minutes, patience being, as in all things, the mark of distinction, finished with a croton of sourdough, and a generous crown of gruy, gratined to a deep golden brown. Main course, slow roasted rack of New Zealand lamb, and one could not, in good conscience, be in New Zealand and overlook the lamb, which is quite simply without peer in the southern hemisphere. The rack is herb crusted with rosemary, thyme, and Dijon mustard, roasted to a blush of pink, and served with a rich red wine and rosemary juice. Accompaniments shall be dauphinoise potatoes, layered with cream, garlic, and a touch of nutmeg, roasted root vegetables, parsnip, carrot, and beetroot, glazed lightly with honey and balsamic, wilted spinach with a suggestion of garlic and lemon. Cheese course, a small selection of sharp-aged cheddar, a creamy brie, and a wedge of blue presented with quince paste, water crackers, and a small bunch of muscat grapes. One does not rush the cheese course, sir or madam. Dessert, a warm sticky date pudding with butterscotch sauce and a quenelle of vanilla bean ice cream. It is autumn. One is permitted to indulge. To drink, I would suggest a Martinborough Pinot Noir with lamb. The region produces a wine of remarkable depth and restraint, perfectly suited to the occasion. Should sir or madam prefer something lighter, a Central Otago Pinot Gris with the first course would not go amiss. The Earl Grey, of course, shall conclude the evening. I trust this meets with your approval, sir or madam. Shall I proceed with the preparations?